write a horror story on the topic. A woman woke up to find that her family had left, boarding up the doors and windows so that she would not be able to escape. Town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dense woods, lived a woman named Eleanor. She was an ordinary woman with a loving husband, 2 children, and a peaceful life. One fateful night, as a storm raged outside, Eleanor went to bed blissfully unaware that her life was about to take a sinister turn. The distant thunder echoed through the house, but Eleanor slept soundly. Suddenly, she was jolted awake by a loud crash that seemed to reverberate through the walls. She shot up in bed, disoriented and panicked, as she strained her ears to identify the source of the disturbance. The storm outside howled, adding to the eerie atmosphere that had enveloped her home. As she stumbled out of her bedroom and into the dimly lit hallway, she noticed an unsettling silence that hung in the air. The usual sounds of her family, the comforting hum of their presence, were conspicuously absent. The silence clawed at her nerves as she called out to her husband and children, but no response echoed back. Dread settling in, Eleanor hurriedly descended the creaking stairs, feeling a chill run down her spine. The living room, once filled with warmth and laughter, now felt desolate. She called out again, her voice quivering, but the only response was the haunting echo of her own words. The dim light revealed a horrifying sight. The doors and windows were boarded up with thick, splintered planks. Panic gripped Eleanor as she rushed to the nearest window, desperately tearing at the wooden barricade. Outside, the storm raged on, and the howling wind seemed to mock her futile attempts to escape. Frantically searching the house, Eleanor discovered a note on the kitchen table. The words were hastily scrawled, as though written in haste and fear. It read, "We had no choice. You're not safe. Don't try to leave." The handwriting was her husband's, and the message sent shivers down her spine. As realization dawned upon her, Eleanor's heart pounded in her chest. She was alone, trapped in her own home, with an unknown threat looming over her. Questions swirled in her mind. Why had her family abandoned her? What danger lurked outside the boarded-up windows? The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a suffocating prison. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the barricaded windows heightened her anxiety. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil within Eleanor's soul. Nightmares became her reality as the days stretched on. The isolation, the deafening silence, and the unrelenting darkness clawed at her sanity. Eleanor was left to confront the terrifying truth. Whatever had forced her family to leave was still out there, waiting for her. As the storm subsided, Eleanor was left to face the ominous quiet of Ravenswood. The once familiar town now seemed alien, and the shadows whispered of secrets she couldn't comprehend. The boarded-up doors and windows served as a constant reminder of her isolation, and the chilling uncertainty of what lay beyond gnawed at her every waking moment. Eleanor's days turned into an endless nightmare, and the echo of her unanswered calls haunted her like ghostly whispers. She was trapped in a twisted reality, with no escape from the unsettling silence that enveloped her boarded-up world. Weeks passed, and Eleanor's desperate attempts to break free from her confining prison proved futile. She scavenged for clues, searching every nook and cranny of her home for any hints left behind by her vanished family. Each day, her sense of time warped, and the thin line between reality and her own unraveling mind blurred. Strange occurrences became part of her daily existence. Whispers echoed through the halls, and fleeting shadows danced on the edges of her vision. The once familiar rooms transformed into a twisted maze of uncertainty, and Eleanor began to question her own sanity. One night, as the moon cast an eerie glow through the barred windows, Eleanor heard a soft scratching sound. Goosebumps covered her skin as she followed the noise to the basement door. The air grew heavy with foreboding, but curiosity overcame her fear. She cautiously descended into the dimly lit basement, the creaking stairs intensifying the tension in the air. In the corner, hidden in the shadows, she discovered an old, dusty chest. With trembling hands, she opened it, revealing a collection of ancient, weathered books and peculiar artifacts. As she pored over the cryptic texts, Eleanor stumbled upon a chilling revelation. The town of Ravenswood harbored a dark secret, an otherworldly entity that preyed on the unsuspecting. The ritualistic markings on the artifacts suggested a connection between her family's disappearance and a malevolent force that had been awakened. Dread settled like a lead weight in Eleanor's stomach. It became clear that her family had sacrificed themselves to protect her from the encroaching horror that lurked beyond the boarded-up doors. The realization gnawed at her soul, and she felt the weight of their desperate decision pressing down on her. The entity, hungry for more victims, lingered in the shadows, waiting for Eleanor to succumb to fear and despair. It reveled in the isolation, feeding off her anguish. The once protective walls of her home had become a prison, shielding her from the imminent danger that lurked just beyond her reach. Driven by a newfound determination, Eleanor delved deeper into the forbidden knowledge she had unearthed. The book spoke of a ritual, a way to banish the malevolent force that held her captive. With each passing day, her understanding of the arcane grew, and a plan began to take shape in her mind. As the moon waned and the oppressive darkness persisted, Eleanor gathered the necessary components for the ritual. She etched symbols on the walls, lit candles, and chanted ancient incantations that reverberated through the silent house. The air crackled with energy, and the temperature dropped as the entity stirred, sensing a threat to its dominion. In the climactic moment, a blinding light erupted from the center of the room, dispelling the suffocating darkness. The ritual worked, and the malevolent force recoiled, retreating back into the shadows. The oppressive silence shattered, replaced by the howling wind outside. Exhausted but triumphant, Eleanor stumbled into the cool night air, liberated from her boarded-up prison. The town of Ravenswood, once plagued by an unspeakable evil, now lay silent and still. Eleanor's family had sacrificed themselves to save her, and she, in turn, had faced the horrors that lurked in the darkness and emerged victorious. But the scars of that harrowing experience lingered. Eleanor, forever changed by the ordeal, left Ravenswood behind, carrying the weight of the supernatural secrets she had uncovered. The town, now free from the malevolent entity, faded into the shadows, a haunting memory in the depths of her consciousness. Eleanor ventured into the unknown, guided only by the uncertain path before her. The world outside Ravenswood felt both foreign and liberating, as she sought a new beginning far from the shadows of her haunted past. Yet, the scars on her soul served as a constant reminder of the horrors she had faced and the sacrifice her family had made. In the distance, the first rays of dawn broke through the horizon, casting a warm glow on the landscape. The storm that had once raged around her had finally subsided, leaving behind a serene calm. As Eleanor walked away from the town, she could feel a weight lifting from her shoulders. The oppressive silence that had plagued her home was replaced by the soothing sounds of nature and the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. Her journey took her to a small village where she found solace among kind-hearted strangers who welcomed her with open arms. Although Eleanor had left behind the boarded-up doors and windows of her past, the memories lingered like ghostly echoes. Nightmares occasionally haunted her sleep, and the supernatural secrets she carried made it challenging to fully escape the shadows that had once enveloped her life. Time passed, and Eleanor began to rebuild. She found strength in the friendships she forged and the support of those who embraced her. Yet, the mysteries of Ravenswood remained a part of her, a story etched into the fabric of her being. She couldn't erase the memory of her family's sacrifice or the chilling realization that malevolent forces existed beyond the realm of the known. As the years unfolded, Eleanor became a guardian of knowledge, using the ancient texts and artifacts she had discovered to protect others from the darkness that sought to consume them. She embraced her newfound purpose, helping those who faced the supernatural and guiding them through the shadows. Ravenswood, the town she had once called home, became a distant memory, a place she had left behind in pursuit of a brighter future. Yet, the stories of her family's sacrifice and the battle against the malevolent entity lived on, whispered in hushed tones by those who knew of the town's dark history. Eleanor's journey continued, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horrors. The boarded-up doors and windows were now symbols of her strength and the unwavering determination to face the unknown, armed with the knowledge that some secrets were best left undisturbed.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss the video from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.